Hi, hello, my name is Courtney, you can call me Courts. I watch movies and then break them down for you because hyperanalyzing things is my toxic trait, and why not get paid for your hobbies? I loved The Bear so much. My background is in hospitality. Of course, I did the waitress actress thing. I'm literally dating a chef, but I did not fall in love with Ayo Edebiri until I saw this clip.
What would you say to your younger self? Like, did you ever think that you would be here right now?
Imagine I was like, yes. I would say nothing to her, obviously, just because of the rules of time travel. I've never been visited by myself in the future, and so I think if that happened to me, I would not make the decisions. You understand? It's like it's Tenet logic. Anyway, yeah, that's what I have to say.
Today we are hopping on the Ayo train and watching Bottoms. Well, I've already watched Bottoms, but I'm going to be telling you to watch Bottoms, and these are all the good reasons why you should watch Bottoms. Or if you've already watched Bottoms, then this is a great video to watch as well. Last week, I hit my first 1,000 subscribers. Okay, I just want to say a massive thank you to every single one of you. You guys are the backbone of this channel. Without you, I wouldn't really have a reason to create. I love chatting with you and bantering with you guys in the comments. You always leave me so much fun movie trivia and fun facts and things that I didn't know. I'm very excited to see where this channel takes me, so just a big massive thank you for you guys being the first 1,000 subscribers. If you want to support me, the easiest way that you can do that for free is by giving this video a big thumbs up, liking this video, subscribing to my channel, watching the whole thing. That is integral. Smash that subscribe button, and let's get to the bottoms of this. You can tell that I am testing my comedy skills out more frequently on this channel these days. So Bottoms follows two teenage girls after they accidentally injure their high school star quarterback, Jeff, by hitting them with their car, transforming them from awkward outcasts to overnight celebrities. Best friends PJ and Josie co-create an elaborate lie about having spent time in a juvenile correctional facility over the summer. They create a self-defense club for women in an attempt to lose their virginities to Brittany and Isabel, their cheerleader high school crushes. Written by Emma Seligman and Rachel Sennott, directed by Emma Seligman. We love women who write and direct on this channel. This is for the film girlies. Starring Rachel Sennott herself, Ayo Edebiri, Kaya Gerber, and Havana Rose Lou. So this movie is camp. This movie is the definition of camp, actually. It exaggerates and repurposes popular tropes distinctly through the eyes of these teen lesbians. The pacing of the dialogue reminds me a lot of Scream Queens by Ryan Murphy, if you've ever seen that. It's one of my favorite TV series. Like Scream Queens, if you don't have the subtitles on, you are going to miss something in the dialogue, because every other piece of dialogue is a punchline. And there are a lot of recalls to jokes already made in the film, so if you're not paying attention, you're definitely gonna miss out on some of the funnies. An abundance of pop culture references, obviously Fight Club taking center stage, but this movie is not a feminist version of Fight Club. This movie is a satire of Fight Club, which could be seen as a feminist version of Fight Club at the end of the day. I'm No Better Than a Man is the flaw that the characters face as they chase their goal of losing their virginity to cheerleaders. But will they become better, more likable versions of themselves? Yes. Some of the antagonists in this movie are the Vikings, the high school football team who are never not wearing their uniform and who function as a deranged parody of the patriarchy. The film follows the tensions between the rival school with the big game, the big homecoming game, being pivotal in their redemption as a team. Surrounding that, the female students are at the forefront of harassment as a result of overbearing testosterone. What a shock. Main characters PJ and Josie, played by Rachel Sennott and Ayo Edebiri, are scrambling to make their way onto the high school food chain as they see themselves as being way below the bottom. PJ forces Josie to succumb to the pressure of doing something about it before they graduate, and thus Fight Club is born. Director and writer duo Seligman and Sennott are onto something in that those who see themselves as outsiders often project their alienation onto those around them. If you weren't clued into the campiness of this film by way of dialogue alone, it certainly should have been a clue with the way that the violence in this movie slowly intensifies. Audiences pointed out how the film gets progressively more violent and more gory from the initial Fight Club meeting to the final battle on the football scene. Anytime actual fighting occurs, it builds with each scene getting more and more bloody. So I was just thinking to myself, like, even from the beginning, when they hit Jeff with the car, it's literally like a little tap. And then after that, it all goes downhill and it's like blood flying, punching each other in the face. The performances are just outstanding in this raunchy comedy. My comedy senses were tingling watching this because I felt like most scenes and most dialogue was improvised. You could tell that they probably did multiple takes where they just let the actors run wild and have fun, which is so excellent to watch because it proves entertaining as an end result. Rachel Sennott as the ruthless ringleader who takes a radically different approach to fighting prejudice, using her wit as a form of destruction. She is smart and mouthy and loud and determined to get what she wants, which is laid. Ayo Edebiri brings the softer, sensitive side to the duo, opening up to fellow Fight Club members with her own vulnerability. Vulnerability based on a lie, but there is some truth in that. There's some truth lingering in there. A little lie with a sprinkle of true feelings. We also have former NFL star Marshawn Lynch playing Mr. G, the club advisor, who is in a constant battle with his empathy for women and his rage against feminism. He is stunningly funny in this movie. It's a thrill to know as well that most of his performance was improvised dialogue. So fun, so impressive. I'm never against an athlete turning toward an acting career if they're good at their job. So the Fight Club was created with the intention of it being a cult of self-defense for these girls. But what it ends up accomplishing is essentially beating these high school orthodoxes into oblivion and separating the social stratosphere. It speaks truth to the feminine experience while also challenging traditional feminist thinking in a really in-your-face kind of way. PJ leads a group bonding session at one point where she blurts out, "Who's been raped, raise your hand." Because who says that? After this inevitably leads a lack of response. It's camp, remember? It's camp. She shortly adds, "Gray area stuff counts too." Cut to a wide shot of every single girl raising their hand in the circle. I love this moment because it demonstrates how A, women have been conditioned to believe that gray area stuff doesn't count. And B, most women have experienced some sort of gray area stuff in their life. So it's very in your face like that about speaking to the level of patriarchy that women have to deal with. Bottoms consistently test the boundaries of taste when it comes to empowerment and misogyny. They lean into the world of anarchy and chaos with the final homecoming battle scene in which the girls must come together to prevent the rival team from literally killing someone, which is so funny. I wish they had leaned into the murder plot a bit more. The third act of the movie, our main characters are in a bit of a quarrel, and Ayo's character, Josie, heads towards a friend from the past to seek advice. One of the most comedic scenes in the movie, in my opinion. But it is then that the idea that the other football team is like murderous is introduced. Kind of wish we had more of that from the beginning. I kind of wish there was more of a threat at the beginning, but I also get it because, like I said before, the violence slowly, progressively gets more and more intense. So we went from, oh, it's the big homecoming game, the rival football team, to, oh no, they're literally gonna kill you. Such a pleasure to watch movies like this as an indie filmmaker because you can just tell. You can just tell when projects have like more of a limited budget in the best way possible. Only say that because it looked like it had limited locations. And I knew going into it that the two filmmakers, Rachel Sennott and Seligman, were new to the scene. You know that Seligman previously wrote her debut film, Shiva Baby, with a budget of only $200,000. Bottoms around the same time and was expecting to work with a similar budget, saying, "We were so lucky to end up working with Orion and wonderful, experienced producers Elizabeth Banks and Alison Small. They've worked on a lot of huge movies with huge budgets, so for them, this was small." I remember they were like, "Yeah, it's gonna have to be small, probably like $10 million. And we were like, okay. Banks and Small went on to produce Cocaine Bear, which is still on my to-be-watched list. You would recognize Elizabeth Banks as Effie from The Hunger Games. It's just so incredible when you go in with this mindset that this is my teeny tiny movie that I wrote in a coffee shop with my friend, and you are going to give me $10 million for this. That seems like small to you, but that's like major for an indie filmmaker. Touching on their budget though, during the initial scene when they hit Jeff with the car, I honestly thought, is this like a way to avoid spending visual effects money? Like, are we just supposed to imagine him have gone like flying and he's like gravely injured? Is this part of like the gag? Like, it's either that or they're trying to illustrate how sensitive and delicate he is as a character, which inevitably was the result. It was in fact a way for filmmakers Sennott and Seligman to dramatize Jeff's character further. This is confirmed when Hazel, one of the Fight Club members, refers to him as The main guy, the one who cries all the time and throws the balls. They never really hit him that hard to cause injury, just enough for him to go running and crying to the principal. It's also funny because that's how men often talk about women in these types of like raunchy stoner comedies. They're like, oh, you know, the blonde skinny one always goes shopping. As I mentioned, the girls must literally band together in order to save the team from being murdered. I also really just love the poster art for this movie. It's clearly a reference to The Breakfast Club and apparently Revenge of the Nerds. It's a modern retelling of classic teen sex comedies where the male horn dogs are replaced by the lesbian horn dog counterparts. Seligman confirms this in saying the movie's got to be aware of itself, but not too aware of itself. It ended up becoming both a thing and the thing that made fun of the thing. And then we were able to add another layer of satire with music, which was a lot of fun. Director Emma Seligman added that when she sat down to write Bottoms with co-writer Rachel Sennott, we're feeling a lot of frustration about the state of queer characters and young female characters on screen who weren't allowed to be horny or flawed or selfish. I just wanted to do something with more raunch because it didn't feel like I had really seen raunchy queer kids on screen before. You see a hole in the market, what do? You fill it, girl. You fill it, baby girl. And that is what they did. So Bottoms has been available on Amazon Prime since Valentine's Day, and I highly encourage you to watch it because it is a fun, sexy, raunchy, campy teen comedy made by women for women with queer elements that turn the tables on a traditional stoner movie. We are at a point now in media where there's not much left to the imagination in saying like there's not a lot of originality left. So we're seeing a lot of retellings of films we've already seen, of songs that we've already heard, sampling music, sampling movies. Like this is something I've talked about before where I really do think that films are becoming more and more sampled, in which people are like literally taking the bones of a story and putting their own twist on it. But watching it feels like being on an inside joke with the filmmakers. Please like this video if you enjoyed Bottoms, or if you've ever kissed a girl. Subscribe to my channel because I've got a big lesbian crush on you. And I think we should start our own fight club. Except instead of fighting, we just leave each other positive affirmations in the comment section. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for being my first 1,000 subscribers. I love you so much. Kisses to you all. 1,000 kisses. Just pretend it's 1,000. Bye.